because of our intense history of Islamophobia, especially when you look at the post 9/11 era, which is what a lot of my Muslim friends are saying today is starting to feel like. So I'm just going to say it. I condemn Islamophobia wholeheartedly.
This creator is one of my new TikTok friends, which I'm so happy we met over TikTok. She's amazing. So what I'm about to say, this is not in response to like her particularly. It's just like the topic, bringing it up. I want to share two things with you all based off of that video, which I will link in the comments. So do make sure, go watch the original video, and I'll also tag her in the comments so that you can go follow her as well. I highly recommend going and following her. The first is a reflection of how it felt as a Muslim. I'm not Palestinian, I'm not Arab, but I am visibly identifiable as Muslim. I don't have an anglicized name. Ethnic, I'm multi-ethnic, I'm half Iranian, and then the other side's half white. So whether I'm white or not, like, you decide, but the scarf is very racializing. Everyone assumes, the majority of non-Muslims assume that I am brown of some kind, that I'm Turkish, that I'm Arab. A lot of Muslims who don't know me also assume that I'm Arab. This piece of fabric has so much power over so many people's perceptions. It's like crazy when you think about it. So me, Rahimeh, with this mishmashed identity, as someone who is visibly identifiable as Muslim, I've been wearing hijab since I was 11 years old. I actually put on the scarf at 10 years old, but that was the year 9/11 happened. And looking back, I don't actually remember it myself, but just looking back on the timeline, I probably put on my scarf. I put it at the beginning of the school year in 5th grade, which, you know, I would have been 10 years old. I probably had it on for maybe a couple of weeks, honestly, before 9/11 happened at the beginning of the school year. And my family, out of concern for my safety, asked and like encouraged me. And I was a 10-year-old, so I did what my parents said, had me take it off. Like I did a like half scarf thing that was like not Muslim coded. And then I put it on full time in middle school at 11 years old, and I've had it on full time ever since. And seeing this creator, whether I am mutuals with her or not, is beside the point. But hearing a non-Muslim, especially someone who's white, especially a white woman, saying the statement, I condemn Islamophobia, that really struck me in a very emotional way, because I don't know if I've heard, maybe I have, I've seen a lot of videos in the last month. This is the first time I like remember, note, hearing anyone who's non-Muslim, obviously, condemn Islamophobia ever. And as powerful as that is, for sure, because Muslims are so deeply dehumanized that it doesn't even occur to a lot of non-Muslims on a lot of sides of the political spectrum. I'm not talking about any particular group. The vast majority of non-Muslims in the West, it doesn't even occur to them as something that they should do or think. I post actively on LinkedIn, and that is actually my primary like social media account presence. Just a few days ago, I put out a post about, if you are not going to bother yourself with the Palestinian genocide and you just don't want to deal with it, at the very least, don't come into my comment section or into my DMs and judge my rage and my grief. Like, the very least you can do is just leave me alone. No, I'm not Arab. No, I'm not Palestinian. And of course, yes, not all Palestinians are Muslim, but from the Muslim community standpoint, Palestine is a Muslim issue. Palestinians going through this genocide are my people because we are Muslim. This is happening as me as a Muslim. I'm seeing this to other Muslims. This breaks my heart, and these are my people, not because of ethnicity being shared, but because we are siblings in faith. And do you know what I had? A white Mormon woman. She identified herself. She said it. You know what she said in my comment section of a post where I said, like, hey, if you're just not gonna like deal with the Palestinian genocide, you're just like, I want to opt out, just leave me alone. Like, just literally just don't approach me, please. Like, just don't bother me with your ignorance and your judgment of my rage and my grief. She said, amongst other things, that, oh, not all Muslims are bad people. And she said it in a way like she thought that she was saying something so supportive and so helpful. And I, of course, was shocked at first. And I went off on her in the comment section. All of this with Palestine. I've been working on my people pleasing for a long time, so I'm better about like telling people if I'm angry with them or whatever. But like this last month with the horrors that we've been witnessing, that I've been witnessing, I have absolutely no tolerance for people with those kinds of comments right now in this like not at all. Just to give you one example of something like how dehumanized Muslims are, that a non-Muslim person would think that saying to a Muslim person, they know I'm Muslim. I use the same profile picture on all my accounts. I'm wearing a hijab. You might not like have seen my content before this, but I'm a diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice practitioner. And I talk about Muslim and religious inclusion within DEI programs. So that's like that's my work, and that's what I focus on, especially on LinkedIn, but also on other social platforms. So it's not like she could not have not known that I was Muslim. And to tell a Muslim in their direct comments, not even like somewhere, of course people say ignorant things and Islamophobic things all the time, but to tell a Muslim in her own comment section, in a post that was just like, hey, if you don't care about what's happening, just leave me alone, she found it that it was going to be supportive for her to offer the like, oh, not all Muslims are bad people. Like, so you're welcome. So to see a white woman, non-Muslim, say that statement was, one, powerful, and I personally, and I am but one Muslim, whether you're looking at what I'm saying from the lens of DEI or as like Muslims speaking on about, hey, I want non-Muslims to speak up against Islamophobia. And this is the second point that I said I wanted to mention at the beginning. If you're still here, hi, thanks for sticking to this long video. Is that both me, Rahimeh, as an individual Muslim and also as a DEI practitioner, I don't actually want the goal to be for non-Muslims of any demographic putting out statements condemning Islamophobia. Like, that's nice, that's cool. That's like our version now of like the black square on Instagram. Okay, like it's not literally nothing, but way, 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 way more important, and what I need to see from non-Muslim people, from non-Muslim predominant organizations, institutions, governments. What we need is you to fight Islamophobia, the ingrained Islamophobia that you have, that you've internalized growing up. That makes sense that you've grown up with the Western world being so Islamophobic, and calling it out in actions, in policies, in the spaces that you're in the people that you're around, way more than just the words, I condemn Islamophobia. Ultimately, that statement is not going to protect anyone, but your actions interrupting Islamophobia will.